It's my great pleasure to present, along with Frank Yeary, for you all an update on the progress of our Operational Excellence Initiative. As I think essentially all of you know, we chose to partner with Bain Management Company to take a comprehensive look at all of our administrative processes on the campus. The goal of this, of course, is to reduce our operational costs, to improve service to our faculty, staff, and students, and with the ultimate aim of ensuring that more of our resources are directed towards our core academic missions of teaching and research. The first phase of this is now very far along. We've had what seems like countless meetings with faculty, staff, and students and alumni. We've been collecting information and analyzing that information. In fact, the analysis is still going on. This has been quite comprehensive through individual meetings and focus groups. At least 500 of you have participated. And I want to personally thank you for your time and all the expertise that you've provided to our operational excellence teams. We're very pleased with the progress to date. We're absolutely convinced that quite substantial savings are possible. And in achieving this, we've benefited immeasurably from input from so many of you, both directly and also through emails. It's our intention to continue to keep you informed. I don't have to tell you that this work is critical to the campus now and in the future. We need to maximize the use of every single dollar that we have. Now, as you know, we've gotten some optimistic news from the governor in Sacramento, but I do have to say that we nevertheless have to be extremely careful. There's a long distance between the governor's January announcement and a final budget. And it really is critical that we use every single dollar as effectively as possible. And our Operational Excellence Initiative is a critical part of us ensuring that. It's now my great pleasure to hand this over to Vice Chancellor Frank Yeary, who's been co-leading this effort and who's obviously critical to it, and he will give us a progress report. Frank.
Thanks, Bob. I'm going to walk us through a collection of slides which highlight some of the early findings of the Operational Excellence team. As Bob said, this is an interim report, which we hope will give you a sense of where the team is focusing its energy. Let me quickly start by reminding us that as one of the truly leading universities in the world, we have so much to be proud of. The vast majority of our academic disciplines are ranked at or near the top in the world. Today, we continue the decades-long tradition of producing groundbreaking research and technologies which drive innovation and job creation. And of course, each year we successfully prepare and graduate thousands of terrifically talented students from many walks of life. In fact, last year, we again graduated more students from lower income families than the entire Ivy League combined. Of course, we currently have our challenges too. Operational excellence is about changing the way we operate so that we can be best prepared to tackle the challenges ahead. So now let me set the context. This chart looks at contributions from the state to UC Berkeley since 2001. Against the backdrop of more students on campus, the state has been progressively disinvesting in our mission for many years. In fact, adjusted for inflation, the state's support is down by more than half in less than 10 years, and this year it's fallen off a cliff. This chart is from a nonpartisan group in Sacramento, looking at the state's future economic condition. Unfortunately, it's not likely the state of California can come to our rescue near term. We certainly need to advocate for more support from the state, but at the same time, we need to ensure that we're responsible with the resources we do have. As many of us know, most budgets on campus have already been cut to deal with the decline in state support. Operational excellence is looking at those administrative and operating functions that support the delivery of teaching and the conduct of research, so we can determine how we use the resources we have most efficiently. In some cases, we're learning from other universities, and in other cases, great new ideas are developing right here at Berkeley. If there's only one thing you remember about operational excellence, it should be that we're working to improve the efficiency of our operations so that the greatest share possible of our resources can be directed to our teaching and research mission. This work will be supported by financial sustainability and strong organizational effectiveness. Today, we're 2/3 of the way through a 6-month fact-finding phase. We hope to validate the hypothesis that opportunities exist at Berkeley to reduce spending and improve service. After this diagnostic phase, we'll move into designing solutions. developing detailed implementation plans to move ahead. As quickly as we can, we'll get on with actually implementing plans to deliver cost savings and service improvements. We realized from the beginning of this effort that it was critical to inform and engage the campus community. This slide shows the governance structure of the operational excellence effort. Importantly, the steering committee, chaired by the Chancellor, is comprised of members from across our community: faculty, students, alumni, staff, as well as senior administrators. In addition, the steering committee has worked hard to get input from many other members of the community. The core operational excellence team now has dozens of our own Berkeley colleagues working with Bain & Company on this project. Over the past few months, we've engaged with hundreds of people in interviews, focus groups, and small meetings. The analysis we've completed so far has focused on key functions which reach across the campus, such as administration, information technology, and procurement. In particular, we've spent time looking at ways we might be able to simplify the organization. I know most of us agree that Berkeley is a complex place, where it can be hard to get things done. We expect simplifying how the organization works will be a key area of focus going forward. Our current organizational structure has grown organically over many years. This chart shows that today, more than half our supervisors manage 3 or fewer people. This kind of a structure can result in greater bureaucracy, more complexity, and slower decision-making. One of the things that most surprised me when I first got here was how few people doing HR, finance, and IT don't actually work in these functional areas. The vast majority of these people are located in individual units and departments. We've learned from other universities that this is not the only effective way to be structured. Some universities are organized this way, some are clustered, and some are more centralized. If we look more closely at one example, human resources, we've now learned a few things. First, nearly 90% of all people who we think are doing HR work don't work in the human resources department. They're highly decentralized. Second, from this chart you can see that we have less than 60 employees for every HR person on campus. That's more than twice as many HR people and probably twice the cost as the average university. This is just an example of conditions we think may exist in a number of areas. If we change the way we work using more modern processes and technologies, we should become more efficient. Decentralization extends to our IT environment as well. The circles on this slide show that we have computer servers all over campus, in all types of environments, managed in all types of ways. We know this is highly inefficient, increases risk, and is more expensive to the campus as a whole. It's also true that energy consumption varies widely across campus. It may be that by applying new tools and lessons learned at other universities, we can save considerable amounts of energy. Space. Today, we manage more than 10 million square feet on campus, worth billions of dollars, and pay millions of dollars every year in rent off campus. Space utilization varies widely even among areas with very similar missions and structures. This is another resource where new thinking could help us be more efficient. We've begun looking at student services as well. Today, the campus provides many valuable services to students and spending over $200 million per year. Operational Excellence has recently launched a student survey to get a better idea of what services students really value. We do know the services are scattered over 5 different control units on campus, as shown on this slide. We think there might be ways to avoid overlapping services or modernize the way we deliver them. Now I'd like to talk about procurement. We buy a lot of things on this campus, spending about $600 million a year. While we certainly are better at this than we used to be, we think there's still room for improvement. We know other universities have been focused hard on strategic sourcing for many years. We've already visited some of them to learn what they do differently. As an example, we work with and buy from thousands more vendors than we need to, raising cost and increasing complexity. Because we're not exercising all our buying power across a limited number of vendors, across the campus, the exact same items are often purchased at different prices, sometimes very different prices. A more modern approach to procurement would probably let us lower even further the prices we pay for the items we're buying. As we said, procurement spend is a very big number for the campus, more than $500 million. But today, our spending is highly fragmented. This has created for us a vicious cycle. Our fragmented spend has given us low leverage with our vendors, who've given us suboptimal pricing in our contracts. This lower pricing in our contracts has created a situation where many users purchase items off contract. Because so many items are purchased off contract, our spending remains fragmented. The good news is, many other universities have faced this exact same situation and have turned it into a virtuous cycle with the application of technology and new processes. I hope you found this report informative. There's still quite a bit of work to be done before the steering committee makes its final recommendations at the end of March. In the meantime, if you'd like to take a closer look, please feel free to download these slides. Thank you.
So as all of you have heard, our Operational Excellence Initiative indeed shows a lot of promise. I want to encourage all of you to visit the Operational Excellence website so you can keep up to date, but also this will enable you to provide your input, which is invaluable to us. We want to hear your thoughts. We will present to you the final results of the analysis in April, and then at that point, the very hard work of implementing the recommendations will begin. And so we look forward to continuing communications with you, and I hope that the semester has started off well for all of you.